Hello, everybody. How are you doing today? My name is Tony Rizzano, and this is episode 331 of the world famous, the universe we love, the best podcast in 1, 2, 3 galaxies. But ladies and gentlemen, you and I, we just call it Online Marketing Moves, and we're coming to you live today. Today is July the 12th, 2021. Ladies and gentlemen, how are you doing today? Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to talk about something that is very important today. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to talk about now. We talk about coming from the beginning phase, the trying to run up the hill phase, the I think I can, I think I can, I think I can. We talk a lot about that on this show, but today we are going to talk about boom, you made it. You're at the top of the mountaintop. You have all the power in the world. You have 1,001 followers. You have millions and millions of followers. Now, ladies and gentlemen, what are you going to do with that power? Are you going to use it for good or are you going to use it for evil? Ladies and gentlemen, the reason why I bring this up is because you see it all the time. You see somebody. I had a discussion with my wife the other day. This guy, he's been accused of scams. He's being accused of this, that, and the other. And my wife, she said she knew this guy since the beginning of his career, his culinary career. And she said he used to be so nice, and he was so. And then she said, you see about halfway through, you can see him change the more stuff that he got. And I said that is very interesting because a lot of times people, they usually go about things one way or the other. You get power, you get fame, you get money, and then you change either for the great other people or you become a sleaze bag and you start doing evil and nasty things. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, what side of the fence are you going to follow on that? Another thing that I saw that was very startling to me was I saw a article about one of the founders of the Black Lives Movement, how they, went, very interesting. They went and bought a $1.3 million house. Now, I'm for anybody generate income. God bless you. Make money how you make money, but you can't be running an organization talking about justice. You're talking about Marxism, and then you run off and you buy a $1.3 million house. You get power and you start doing evil things. Okay, and that's another reason why I told you we talked about yesterday. The words you speak should match on camera. They should match off camera. If you whatever you believe and you say in front of audience, you should also believe that on your own time. Listen, if you are a person and you're like, I want to make money, say that. Don't sell us on this. Don't sell people on BS. So it's and it we could talk about this all day when it comes to power. You have these let's talk about religion. People become powerful. You have the Joe Austins of the world. You have the Kenneth Copelands, the TD Jakes. These people, they make a lot of money from church. They make a lot of money because people believe in them, and then they have a lot of money and they get a lot of power. And then what do they do with it? A lot of times, a lot of these people, not everybody. Listen, I'm a religious person. I believe in the Lord. I pray every day, but at the same time, I don't think that it is, that you should, be telling people that don't have the money that they should, hey, pay me, give the money to God, and God will see you away. And then you go out and you buy and you have $50 million homes, $50 million jets, and all this kind of nonsense, shenanigans. That's another thing. People get power, they become greedy. They get greedy, and you want to avoid that. There's many ways you can avoid that. You can't, it's not right. It's not listen, like I said, you can make as much money as you want. You can make all the money as you want to. God bless you if you do. But when you get power, when you get to a certain level, you have a responsibility, because people believe in you. People see you, they believe in you. And what you don't want to do is you don't want to start ripping people off. You don't want to become a con man or a woman. You do not want that, because that is a bad look. And I'm not here to preach to you. I'm not here to, say you're going to hell or anything like that if you, start doing. But really, really, really have a checks and balances. It's one thing. You don't want to have a bunch of yes men around you, yes people around you. Make sure you have people that's still in your life that are going to tell you, hey, you're off base on this. You know what I mean? Like me going up in the world, get more listeners and everything like that. So we're gonna have more of an audience. The Facebook page is growing, so we're gonna develop more of an audience. And then at some point, I'm gonna be at the tip top. And a lot of you are going to be at the tip top. And it's like you're gonna be an expert in this, you're gonna be an expert in that. And it's what do you tell people? How do you tell people? What kind of message are you here to give people? Now, I'm not saying you have to be you don't have to be everything's going to be positive, because we all know listen, there's times they're going to be great times, and there are times it's going to be rough patches. We all know this. We all know that. And I'm not saying you have to just be poly positive and tell everybody it's going to be okay, everything's going to be all right. But you can't lead people. You can't have a group of people that follow you, that like you, that you have an audience, and then you lead them down an alleyway that they can't get out of. You don't want to do that. You know what I mean? Like, you don't want to be that person. And sometimes you might send people down a road that you don't know that it's bad. That you can't help that. Some things you can't be helped. When it's blatant, when it's obvious, it. Like, if you tell people, hey, invest in this, and it's a scam, come on, man. It's like these gifting circles, these blessing circles. I saw this couple, they was on OWN Network or something, and they built up a little audience, and they started telling people, invest in this blessing circle. It basically was a pyramid scheme. That's abuse of power. You have to be careful. You have to be careful about that. Another abuse of power is just like you have when Trump was in office. Hey, he won the election. He won the election. Nothing wrong with that. Whatever. But the point is about January the 6th. And now, when things happen, things go awry, he's like, shh, hey, it ain't me. It wasn't me, but you had something to do with it. It's not like the people wasn't listening to you. You're like, hey, we should storm the Capitol. I'm still president. He did a lot of preaching about still being president, did a lot of preaching. He has a rabid fan base. So it's up to you to control these people. I'm not saying you can't control everybody. Of course, we all know that. Everybody, some people, they think for themselves, they're going to do what they want to do. They're doing what they do. They think is in the best interest of you. But there's so many people there. You could have went down there. You could have stopped them. You could have said, hey, hey, let's cut this out. But it's an abuse of power, and you have to be careful when you get in that position, And it could be as little as you having a YouTube channel, you having 50,000 followers, you have to understand it's an abuse, and you don't want to abuse the power. When you get to a certain level, you have to be cognizant. You have to be, hey, let me not, hey, let me, because it's like politics. There's a lot of politicians, they can rile people up, and it's like, hey, man, you have, don't always say, oh, these people are against us, blah 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 blah. You have a responsibility, and yes, people should think for themselves. Don't get me wrong. I'm all for that. I think people should definitely think for themselves, but people don't think for themselves. We have a lot of sheep in the world, and sometimes you're going to have a company. You're going to have a business. You might do whatever. You're going to have fans. You're going to have followers, and some of them want you to think for them, and so. The most important thing is you don't abuse it. The main thing is you don't rob it, abuse it, and send the people on the way, Don't, hey, we're all here to make money. Don't get me wrong. And there's nothing wrong with that. But don't be a huckster. Don't be a con man. Don't abuse your power. Don't abuse the privilege. People put you in a situation where they're like, hey, I trust you. I like you. I want to get to know more of you. And then you abuse it, and it's like you won't get another chance. You know what I mean? It's hard to gain somebody's trust, but it's easy to lose it. You can lose it real quick. Might take people. Let's say you get somebody on your email list for a year. And they haven't bought anything. Then they buy something. Then a couple months later, they find out, hey, this guy's not on the up and up. You do something crazy. They're gonna be like, nope. That whole year you spent getting to know them, building up with them is just gone by the wayside. But anyway, don't abuse power. Don't be abusive. Be careful. You want to be, like I said, now everything you do is not going to be perfect. We all know that. But listen, when you're doing wrong. You know what I mean? Like some things are just kind of, hey, if somebody come to me and say, hey man, we got this little scheme going, and then I'm like, hey, I should tell the listeners about this scheme, and I try to say, oh, hey, it's not a scheme, it's good, like, in affiliate marketing, that's another thing. I don't want to promote products that I think are kind of like, So, that's why the one time I remember I made a mistake, and I was signed up for this program, and I said I should wait to write an article after I get done doing the 1 week, 2 week test, But I wrote an article a couple of days after I started the program, and then I had to go back and write a story and be like, oh, wait a minute. This is no good. But at the time I wasn't, as this whole thing wasn't coming about, so there's very few readers of the program. But I was able to go back and write and be like, hey, stop the press. This is crap, but because I want to be on the right side of doing good, I don't want to be, I don't want to get power and then abuse it. You know what I mean? Like that's not my thing. That's not my, that's not my cup of tea. But I hope it's not yours either, So when you get power, don't abuse it. When you get in situations where people looking for you, don't don't be a huckster, don't be a scam artist. And there's so much of that going on these days, so much nonsense going on these days, you just have to be careful out there, Um, it's hard to know what's what's up, what's going on, but you'll figure it out. And then once you do get to the top, like I said, yeah, you want to make money. Of course you want to make money. This is why we're all here, no matter what you do. From copywriting to email marketing to, internet marketing, doesn't matter. MLM doesn't matter, doesn't matter what you do. We all want to make money. We all know this, right? This is why we're here. Exactly. This is why we're here. But at the same time, don't be abusive. You gain somebody's trust, don't lose the trust. Okay. Don't be an idiot. Okay. Be kind, be fair. You can be firm and you can be fair at the same time, Don't be don't be a douchebag. All right. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, remember that. Don't abuse your power. Now we are coming up on the 1 year anniversary of Online Marketing Moves. It's been quite the year. So July 15th, we probably won't do anything special. Probably just do an episode, go back on some of the highlights, go back on some of the things that I've learned, and hopefully, or I will say that episode, maybe you should get a pen and paper and take a few notes, and I can help you out about the content that you want to start creating, because I've grown since then, since the first day, and figure some things out and figure out which way I want to go. And, I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying you. And so I hope you're enjoying this podcast. We got to get the word out. We got to spread it out, because I do believe, in my mind, this is this is one of the best podcasts, for marketing, for, entrepreneurship. We just coming from a different perspective. We're not the typical 9 to 5, I'm gonna write an article about this, before we go. I don't know what you do for a living. You can always email me and tell me what you do for a living, but you see these people and these quote unquote hard luck stories, because everybody has to tell you a story, Oh, let's break out the violin, they working too hard, they burnt out, But a lot of the stories I used to hear say the same thing. Well, I was in corporate America, I was working 9 to 5, and and I'm like, 9 to 5 don't sound bad. 9 to 5 don't sound bad to me, I mean, I'm working 12. Just last week, not that I'm looking for anything. Listen, when I tell you stuff, I ain't looking for no sympathy. I ain't looking for nothing. But last week I remember Thursday and Friday, no, Friday and Saturday I worked. Besides doing all this stuff, we're talking about the driving. I worked about 26 hours the last couple of days, Friday and Saturday. Yeah, I think altogether I worked like 26 hours, I worked till like 10 o'clock, from 8 that night to like 9:30, 10 o'clock both days, But I just say that to say, I used to hear people saying like, the 9 to 5 was just so stressful. I'm thinking 9 to 5, man, I could stand on my head and do 9 to 5. Come on, But I know everybody has their own different, things or whatever, But I'm gonna write this article and I'm put why 9 to 5 people are the most annoying people in the job market. I think that's a good article. Yeah. Hey, yeah. Before we get going, I want to discuss another one quick thing with you, and that's headlines. I wrote this headline on my email, and I'm going to I'm going to start leaving links so you can sign up for the email, so you can get daily emails from me. But I wrote a headline for my email, and I told it to my wife, and my wife, she did not agree. She said, "Don't get too political." And I said, "I don't think this is political." I said, "I'm just driving people to listen to the podcast episode." I said, I'm not really trying to be political. I said it's more of a kind of a attention grabbing headline." And my wife said, "I don't know. You don't want to lose customers," but I had to disagree with her on this, because the one thing you don't want to do is be milk toast. Sometimes you have to shake the cage, in my humble opinion. Sometimes you have to wake people up. And sometimes my email list it's okay. It's not the greatest email list in the world, but we are here to cultivate it. We are here to actually, the goal now for me is to rotate and get people off the email list and get new people on the email list, people that are going to read the emails, going to respond. Like I said, I don't expect you to buy everything that I ever try to sell you. Every link that I put up, I don't expect people to buy every time. That's whatever. Some people you're going to have super fans, great. Some people they're not going to be super fans, great. Some people are never going to buy anything, great. But the point is, read the emails. The point is, open the emails. The point is, why be on somebody's email list if you're never going to read the emails? So this is why I'm here to flush out people on my email list all the time. So we are going to start posting the link so you can sign up for the email list. You can get daily emails from me, and there'll be affiliate links, of course. Click on them if you want, but you have been warned. But you should check it out just so that way you can study up on some email marketing. But ladies and gentlemen, all that said, we will be back tomorrow with all new episode of Online Marketing Moves. But until then, my name is Tony Rizzano. Thank you for listening. And as always, everybody, peace.